Sometimes hiding isn't rest, it's resistance. Hey, it's Heather Chauvin, wife, mother of 3 boys, former social worker, dreamer, recovering rescuer, stage 4 cancer survivor. I started my motherhood journey when I was 18. I was single and living off government assistance. Beyond all of these titles and labels, I'm a human being, just like you, attempting to navigate it all while feeling good. My goal on this podcast is to show you that you can live an energized, sustainable life both at home and in your work. On this show, I attempt to keep it real with stories, interviews, and random thoughts. This is not a business or career podcast, and it's not a parenting podcast. It's both and so much more. You will laugh, you will cry, and maybe even get a little frustrated with the truth you've been hiding from yourself. I believe all human behavior is a language, whether it's through your child's behavior, your health, or a relationship. And when we learn to listen instead of react, we begin to understand what it truly means to feel alive and in control. If you haven't already, go grab a copy of my book, Dying to Be a Good Mother. You can purchase it wherever books are sold online. And if you're interested in how to integrate this work into your life and get quicker results, you can learn more about my mastery and mastery business coaching experiences at heatherchauvin.com/work with me. Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/work with me. And you have a personal question or a topic you'd like me to answer on this podcast, then text me 313-710-5199. 313-710-5199. All right, let's change your life. Let's dig in. Hey ladies, I am back and recharged. Okay, so I'm really excited for this new series that I'm starting on the podcast and in general. I like to have, themes, obviously, that I'm working through, that my clients are working through. And I'm kind of focusing on this theme of why not you? Why not you? In a world that is so conditioned to tell us why we are not qualified or capable to do something, that's not the stand that I take. I'm all about, why can't you have max energy? Why can't you feel joyful? Why can't you stop yelling? Why can't you overcome your biggest obstacles? Honey, out. Okay. Close the door. Why can't you lock yourself in a car to create a podcast and, be left alone for a few minutes? Anyways, he's gone now. I'm totally leaving this in. So why not you is totally about you stepping up and into the next version of yourself. So before we dive into today's podcast and story, I want to tell you that we have a workshop coming up. This is a paid workshop, super low fee. It is $17, and you can check it out at heatherchauvin.com/why not. September is like the new January. It's always this restart energy, and I truly believe that we are all capable of it. But of course, what gets in the way? There's no, magic pill. There's no this is my year, it's going to be easy. No, it's going to be wildly emotionally uncomfortable. Let's just be honest, right? Consistently. But you get to a point in your life where you're like, I know that by not taking action, it's going to be more painful than by taking little micro action steps. So if this is you, check out what the Why Not You, I was going to say, what did I call it? Why not me? Why Not You workshop is all about. Head on over to me, Heather Chauvin. last name spelled CHAUVIN.com/YWHY not, N-O-T. Why not? All right. So let's talk about resistance. So this summer, July and August, I made a active decision, intentional decision to create more space. And this was a complete byproduct of all of the intention and effort and focus that I have put on my personal and professional life for the last 5+ years. Everyone wants time freedom. Everyone wants emotional freedom. Everyone wants a profitable business, and they want spaciousness. It's not rocket science. Everyone wants the energy. They want inspiration. But when you give people a path to get there and it doesn't look sexy and you have your ups and downs, they don't want to do it. They give up, right? They don't want to start, or when they do start, then in the first moment of discomfort, they run away and run back to their comfort zone. So this summer was a complete byproduct of me being consistent with certain areas of my life and feeling like I can create space and not have a panic attack about it. Because let's be honest, nobody talks about, what happens behind closed doors when you are a breadwinner, meaning you're the sole, income earner, and you decide that you're going to create time and space. As a business owner, you have to not only have a lot of systems and structures in place, but you got to do a lot of deep inner work to be able to let go, right? So that's where I got to this summer. And I was so fucking proud of myself. And I was so grateful for my team. And everything is still up leveling and exploding, even without me, like exploding in a good way. And I say this out loud because I want you to know that this is possible too. And you don't need to own a business to get to this place. It might be, everyone's work life is very, very different. It might just be people saying, listen, I have like 6 weeks of frickin' vacation and I haven't literally taken a quality vacation in forever. And I know, the world is different for everybody right now, but I'm talking about staycations. I'm talking about you don't need to travel around the world to create space for yourself. And hopefully the last 2 years have shown you that you can create that same feeling of rest and rejuvenation in your own backyard. Takes a lot of mental dedication and focus, but you can do it. So my point of that is, I have come back and recharged. But on the contrary to that, if you listen to the podcast that we put up last time, I said, I put the interview out with Morgan. We went to Alaska, all of that fun stuff. And what I didn't talk about was the sheer panic of going on a trip the exact same day that my children, I think I talked about it a little bit, that my children, all 3 of my children went to camp, sleepaway camp, hardcore camp away from home. Again, another opportunity to be able to do this financially for my family, and, literally being privileged to have that opportunity. Never, ever in a million years would this have been an opportunity for me as a child, let alone sending 3 of my kids. So my older 2, who are almost 12 and 16, went for a month, and my youngest went for 2 weeks. And the heart-wrenchingness that I had to go through, that's a whole other conversation, which I will probably put out another time, regarding my son's anxiety. And oh God, that's a whole other podcast and topic. But today I wanted to focus on when you physically have the space that you've created for yourself and you find yourself still with the same excuses. So what happened is when I got back from my trip, we always say, oh, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Oh, it must be nice. So nice. Oh, I would only dream of that. And you're like, shut up. Give yourself permission to create what you want and desire. You do not need to go on a 9-day kayaking trip to create space for yourself. But you can literally get a hotel room for a night use your visa points. And if you have no visa points or you don't have a visa, you can call up a friend and say, can I come stay in your guest room? You can ask somebody for childcare. And even if you don't have the ability to do that, I'm sure you can figure it out, right? And if you don't have the ability, you have to figure it out for your own sanity. You can put your child in daycare for a day, pay the additional fee, sit at home twiddling your thumbs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My point is, when there is a will, there is a way. And if there's judgment of, I can't do that, realize that that is a block. That is a physical wall that you are putting up and saying, oh, I do not want to go in there because that's wildly uncomfortable, emotionally uncomfortable. But realize unless you go into that cave, you will not come out a different person. And I would not be where I am today without going into that cave over again and again and again and again. So, I digress. My point is, there was a moment of time I came back from my trip, and I also want to be mindful that my youngest is 8 years old, and I do understand that we are all in very different stages of parenting, and our children have different needs, wants, and desires. But I do want you to put on this how can I hat. And the first time I left my house, and I talked about it in my book, I believe I went on a retreat when one of my middle one, I think, was very young. I was still breastfeeding. And I left for a weekend or so, and it was one of the most gut-wrenching experiences of my life. I felt so incredibly guilty, and I'm so grateful that I did it. I have no regrets. The judgment of others and the self-judgment was horrific. And I'm telling you right now, it was a game changer. And so being in that emotional space of understanding that it's not the space that you crave, okay? It's not the space that you crave. It's the space that you crave in your mind. The mind is the space that you crave in your mind because the stories get so loud. The pressure gets so loud, right? So I came back, I was post-trip. There was probably around 4 days where I didn't have any children at home. It was just my husband and I. And, you know, people are like, oh my God, you'd have wild sex. You do all these crazy things. Not really. We're still the same people. And, well, I guess maybe, but not above and beyond, if you get what I'm saying. So my point of that is I was reintegrating back into my daily routine, and it was fine. I was like, wow, I actually feel really, really good. I could tell that my body was really prepped for all the work that I've been doing on my body, but also my immune system, just with the last year and a half of really, you know, taking an integrative approach to upping my health and upping my body strength and making sure, you know, my mind is healthy, but I'm not living in fear either, right? Living in fear. So I felt amazing, amazing, amazing. So Felix comes back. That's our youngest. He comes back from camp, and I have one kid, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. I got one kid. The other two aren't here. So I've limit the noise, right? And guess what? I have the opportunity to work out. I have the opportunity to meal plan. I have the opportunity to work on my business. I have the opportunity to declutter my whole house. And mind you, we had a flood before I left. So all of these things, right? All these things that I say I'm going to do when my kids leave. I'm going to do when I have time. Oh, when the kids go back to school. Oh, when this, right? And yes, there is relief because they're not there. But I also worry about them. I'm like, where are they doing? What are they doing? I want to, you know, your brain can go to crazy places, and then I have to bring it back. My point is, same Heather, same resistance, same excuses, and no children to be my barriers. Same Heather. Same stories, same resistance, and no children to be my barriers. What does that mean? It is so freaking easy to allow your guilt. Let me rephrase that. It is so emotionally comforting to allow your guilt to dictate your actions. It is emotionally comforting to allow your guilt to dictate your actions, your fear to dictate your actions. So think about how many times on a daily basis you are literally running on autopilot just because your brain is used to a routine, right? Wake up, do this, da-da-da, da-da-da, la-la. You're not even thinking about it, right? It's like you get in the car, you're driving to a location that you always go to, work, school, whatever, grocery store, I don't care. And then you're like, how did I get here? Like, you don't even think about it anymore. You don't even have to follow a GPS because you just know automatically. You can hold a conversation. You could probably do a whole bunch of shit while you're driving. Not supposed to, but you get what I'm saying. That's what happens in our daily patterns. So when we're in a season of mothering or any type of caregiving, or role, because you're a woman and you're a nurturer, you get in a season. And when you get in a season, sometimes you can get in a rut. So if you are not coming back to your habits, if you're not coming back to your routine, if you're not paying attention mindfully to your mindset, the stories that you're telling yourself, you will always have an excuse or a barrier in your way to achieve and become. And this is why coaching is essential. This is why surrounding yourself with a community of like-minded people who are like, you're doing it again, to keep you on this path. This is why I talk about why not you? Why not you? Because if you're telling yourself a story consciously or subconsciously of, I could never do that because nobody in my family has ever achieved that before. I could never do that because women don't do that. I could never do that because I'm a mother. I could never do that because blah, 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 blah. What if you are the first one to do it? What if you were the trailblazer? And it doesn't have to be revolutionary. You could just discover how to stop yelling. You could literally discover how to manage your stress. You can discover how to work your job, corporate, business, managing a household, aka stay-at-home mom, managing a fucking household, which is a complicated career. You can do all of these. You can master all of it. But when we sprinkle guilt and shame and overwhelm, and you're allowing those emotions to run the show, and you're not saying, hey, shame, you're not like, you've been here a while, but you're not leading the actions today. Move over. Hey, overwhelm, I see you, and I have tools. Okay, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, I need to stop. All right, I need to brain dump. I need to, we know what to do, but we allow our emotional state to run the show, which is why they call it emotional eating. I'm sad, numb. This is why Netflix is so popular. It's why we don't have commercials anymore. I'm sad, I'm grieving, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. Netflix, binge. Technology, binge. So, going back to my story, I am you. I am you with maybe more mental boundaries. I don't frickin' know. We might be in the exact same position. My point is, I am not a super fucking hero. I am a woman who's raising children, who's running a business, who wants to feel amazing in her mind and body and refuses anything less. Feeling good is your fucking birthright. Being able to pay your bills and go on a vacation and reinvesting yourself is your fucking birthright. Your birthright. But listen, that's a revolutionary sentence that just came out of my mouth. Women Believing this is revolutionary. So I understand why it's so difficult. It's emotionally uncomfortable because in this day and age, we are still, and we will be for a while, because I'm talking about women, I'm not talking about other people. We're still going to be working. We're still going to be walking uphill for equity and inclusion. But here's my point. Why not you? Why not you? Please tell me all of the reasons why you are incapable, why you can't become that person that you want to be. And if you are willing to argue with me and debate with me why you can't become that person, are you willing to do the exact same thing and become her? Are you willing to put as much energy, time, and effort into holding on to your current state and telling me why you can't become her? Or are you willing to let go and say, I'm scared, I'm uncomfortable, there's so many unknowns here. I've never become this person. Like, nobody in my life has become this person. What if I fail? I want to show you that it is possible. Fear is not going to kill you. It's just not. It's just uncomfortable. It's emotionally uncomfortable. And so this is what we're going to be talking about on the workshop. So if you're sitting there going, oh, dang, I want to get closer to Heather. I've been thinking about doing something this September. It's time. It's time to stop passively listening and start actively getting into motion. So head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/why not? WHYNOT. Why not? Why frickin' not? I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Hey, kids or no kids, our resistance is going to be there. So I might as well learn how to co-create with it and feel fucking good. Well, that's it. And I wanted to thank you for listening today because I truly believe you are exactly where you need to be. And now I have a favor to ask. In exchange for the value you've gained from this free podcast, I'd be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. Share the show with at least one woman in your life who you feel would benefit, and or take a screenshot and share it on social media. And always feel free to tag me at Heather Chauvin. The world does not benefit from your guilt and fatigue. The world needs more women who are willing to unlearn everything they've been taught. Women who are courageous enough to feel good and not let guilt run the show. I believe you are that courageous woman. To see if my community and coaching is the right fit for you and your big vision, the relationships you desire, the money, time, energy that you know deep down you are capable of creating, then head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/work with me, and take the next step in the right direction. Taking a stand for how you feel means you are taking a stand for how your children show up as adults. And if you have a personal question or topic you'd like me to answer on the podcast, text me 313-710-5199. 313-710-5199. You are so worthy of feeling good. Now go do some scary shit.